There's an endocrine organ in our body that is grossly understudied and holds the potential to reverse and treat many of the chronic neurodegenerative diseases that we see today, like Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. And this organ also has the potential to extend our lifespan by over 27%. And to be honest, I'm a little shook by what I have come across in research, and it will be very interesting to see if this video gets shown to people or not. The name of this organ is the pineal gland, which is a small organ in the center of the brain, literally the geometric center of the brain. Historically, Descartes called this organ the seat of the soul. We have known this organ has connections to other realms or expanded consciousness, and we've known that it also influences circadian rhythm by way of melatonin production. But what I have found in the research is absolutely mind-blowing as to just how important this organ really is. So I want to share the gist of this with you, and I'm going to be using this article. This is a good one to read. So I want to jump ahead and just highlight the fact that this organ, the problem with it is that we're seeing pineal calcification, which is basically like a hardening of the pineal gland that we think is basically coming from enamel or a substance that's like similar to bone. And there is evidence showing pineal calcification associated with different disorders and aging. So decades ago, apparently, there was the noted relationship between the pineal calcification and schizophrenia. We also see really high pineal calcium content in people who die of kidney disease associated with high blood pressure, among other diseases. And then we also see studies reporting a strong association of pineal gland calcification with neurodegenerative diseases, particularly Alzheimer's disease. And we know that our lifestyles aren't great. We know that we're not as healthy as we could be. We know we don't eat as well as we could be, and that's for a multitude of factors. And actually, even the predominant narratives having to do with healthy eating and weight loss in our world today tend to be the opposite of what we need to be doing. But I digress. But basically, the brain is like the most vulnerable organ to oxidative stress, meaning like it's the most sensitive to our poor lifestyle habits and nutrition habits. And like the melatonin production, I've learned a little bit more about melatonin in reading about this. Melatonin is useful for circadian rhythm regulation and sleep, but it also has a lot of other purposes that I wasn't even aware of, like antioxidant and anti-inflammatory activity. And look at this, melatonin directly inhibits the secretion and deposition of the beta amyloid plaques or beta amyloid proteins that are the hallmark feature of Alzheimer's disease. And they've done this in research. They've taken large doses of melatonin in animal studies and have seen a great effect. I'll show you that in a second. But it looks like, based on these studies, that large doses of melatonin could be used in Alzheimer's patients, and it may help achieve maximum treatment effects on this devastating disease. And there are also some preliminary studies looking at other neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's, ALS, MS, Huntington's disease, and we see positive impacts of melatonin on these. And look at this, pineal gland calcification is often related to the decreased melatonin levels and several pathological alterations, including neurodegenerative diseases, migraine, intracerebral hemorrhage, cerebral infarction, sleep disorders, pediatric primary brain tumor. And this kind of blew my mind. We can understand pineal calcification literally by looking at serum and saliva melatonin levels or urine metabolites. And so this could help us like catch people who are en route to Alzheimer's disease, right? Or at risk for different neurodegenerative diseases. And this is very inexpensive. So what kind of environment has to be created in the brain in order for this calcification to happen? An environment that includes collagen, fibrils, phosphate, and calcium. And here's the irony. What are the things that we are told the most in our culture to gravitate towards if we want to lose weight and be the healthiest? Protein. Where are all of these components found? Proteins, dairy, animal proteins. What's protective against this calcification process? Phytate. Phytate content in brains of healthy animals was 10 times higher than that in other tissues. Where do we get phytate from? Nuts, seeds, grains, beans. So this is the conclusion. It's speculated that a healthy pineal gland would help us with immunomodulation, metabolic balance, anti-cancer. You guys, this is all about our diet, as well as one other compound that I'll talk about in the next video.